This priceless ring is worn by only two professional bowlers. Billy Hardwick and Johnny Petraglia have won the Triple Crown, the United States Open, the Firestone, and the PBA National Championship. Hardwick accomplished his in the 60s. Johnny Petraglia completed his triple in Sterling Heights, Michigan, in winning the 1980 PBA National Championship. Today, it's a beginning for another bowler. ABC Sports presents live in its 27th season, the Professional Bowlers Tour. Today from Toledo, Ohio, we bring you the $270,000 Trustcorp PBA National Championship. Let's meet today's finalists. In fifth place, making his fourth championship round appearance in 1988, and 10-time PBA titleist Pete Weber. In fourth, looking for his third title and third win in the state of Ohio, Dave Ferraro. In our third spot from nearby Perrysburg, Ohio, hoping to break a 2-year victory drought, Don Genalo. Making his second championship round appearance of the year and looking for his first PBA title from Reno, Nevada, Todd Thompson. Out-averaging his nearest rival this week, 228 to 223, and dominating the 360-man field, our tournament leader, Brian Voss. That's our field today on the Professional Bowlers Tour. And now you're looking at the field of battle, the vast and friendly Imperial Lanes, for the 8th year, the Trustcorp PBA National Championship, and as usual, a standing room capacity crowd ready for the live action, which we'll be bringing to you. $270,000. As you see, the championship game, they'll be bowling for $77,000. 27 years ago, I wouldn't have believed that, but it's true. I'm Chris Schenkel, delighted to be back in this friendly city on the Maumee River. Brian Voss is our tournament leader, and for many of you, you saw Make That Spare here on ABC, the preceding half hour. I must tell you, it was taped 1 week ago in Cleveland, Ohio. Brian is here live, though, as the tournament leader. Immediately following our telecast, we'll go to Paris for the WBC World Lightweight Championship. The champion is Jose Ramirez, a reported 100 victories, 82 by knockout, and he's going against one of the gold medalists in the Los Angeles Olympic Games, Pernell Whitaker, who's had only 15 fights. He is undefeated. Can he become the 5th to win a world title? World weightlifting championships to go along with it. In 1970, my colleague Nelson Burton Jr. was victorious here. We remember it well. And, Bo, this is the beginning of the major title drive.
You're right, Chris. Toledo, a great town, and the first of a Triple Crown on the PBA Tour. It's the PBA National Championship, the Firestone U.S. Open to be shown in April here on ABC. Now, what makes the PBA National so important? Number one, it's most difficult to win. There's 360 pros in this tournament. Normally, we only have 160. It takes 56 games to get to the championship round. Normally, it's only 42. Finally, the prize money. Enormous prize money, a 3-year exemption on the tour. Add that all up together, you have pressure. The prestige comes from the names that have won this tournament. Look at it. Carter, Anthony, Davis, Salvino, Hardwick, Petraglia, you name it. It's a who's who in bowling. Winning this tournament is like a free ticket into the PBA Hall of Fame. All that on the line today. Now, what do the players have to do? Very simple. You can't play the big hook ball here in Toledo. It's a down and in shot. You must keep it in play. The man to watch who has the best natural shot is Don Genalo in the number 3 position. But you have to watch out for Brian Voss. He dominated this field, ran away from all the players for 7 days. Let's see if he can do it. And in 90 minutes, Chris, we will know who the 1988 PBA National Champion is. We're ready for action.
Okay, and that we are. Dave Ferraro on the right. Seated now is 25-year-old Pete Weber, who was 5th in the National Championship here just a year ago, but he won the Firestone Tournament of Champions. Dave Ferraro is 28 years old from Kingston, New York, has been off several weeks because of an injury to his right wrist. The rest helped it, along with that brace and glove he is wearing. Shooting on the left lane, Ferraro. Holding a 4-pin here.
Dave Ferraro, Chris, starts with a 4-pin on the left-hand lane, and we're just going to have a slight delay very quickly here as the machine swept the 4-pin off, it must be reset. And a little bit of the strategy the players are looking for today is very simply this. The left-hand lane hooks a little bit more than the right. All the players who had the choice, that being Dave Ferraro in this match, finishing higher than Pete Weber, decided to finish on the right-hand lane, lane 26. The reason being is that if you pull the ball, you can get away with it on lane 26, and that's what normally happens under extreme pressure, so the players are really going to watch that. 26, heavy oil here, right in this area, light oil here, dry in this area. Same thing with 25, but the characteristic of the lanes are very simply that 26 will hook more than 25.
All right. Covering the 4-pin, Dave Ferraro. It was manually set on that left lane, and now Pete Weber is up. One of the bright young stars, 9 years a member of the PBA, 10 victories, second in the U.S. Open last year as well as winning the Firestone. He's a joy to watch. If he can stay together, he can be the toughest man on tour. Leaving the 610. A little too much adrenaline.
You're right, Chris. As we look at the familiar profile of Pete Weber, the ball hooking a little bit high on 26. The high backswing of Weber here, keeping his eye on the target, drives through with that pivot step, the big turn. Everybody was throwing strikes in the practice, but it's for real now.
It was amazing. Like make that spare. When we taped it a week ago, Earl Anthony couldn't miss on making the spares, yet he could not hardly buy one when we did the show. Pete Weber now moving to the left. Here's a man that was the #1 money earner last year, $179,684. This year, 26, a chance for 51 today. Nice preparation.
Definitely taking his time. Pete has struggled in his last 2 championship round appearances here at Imperial Lanes in the National Championship. He'd like to win a game.
He now gets a 10-pin on the left lane.
A little bit more about what the PBA does for the National Championship and all the majors. First place, as you watch the action of Pete's ball going through the pins, we use brand new bowling pins, and that makes a big difference. The new pins do not fall as easily as pins that have been used for a couple of months. These pins were put in here last week when the player threw the first ball. They're 3-pound, 8-ounce pins, and there's a premium on hitting solid in the pocket.
Lots of speed cross lane for Pete Weber, and he now has marked with 2 spares. Dave Ferraro is up now, and he's a very, very nice young man, 28 years old. Wife Gloria is here. 1 son, John David. Boy, everything went in practice, but not so.
Major difference as you see the profile of David Ferraro, 5-step delivery, very short, controlled backswing, keeps the ball in play. As he's a little bit loft as he switches balls, and he's going to quickly be up on the approach to convert the 10-pin.
Oh! Well, that should loosen him up considerably. That was so close.
Well, the 10-pin has been the story at Imperial Lanes for the 20-some years that the PBA has been coming here. The bowling center, the key is to get a smooth roll, carry the 10-pin out, and we saw the making of the 10-pin be the difference in the National Championship a few years back when Mike Durbin missed the 10-pin to let Earl Anthony walk into his 3rd National Championship right here. Now, Ferraro up, match is even.
First strike of the first game. Weber is up. The winner of this match will meet Don Genalo, local favorite here, and then Todd Thompson, and then Brian Voss.
Ferraro changing a little tape in his thumb hole, Chris. The lights and the pressure making that hand swell a little bit, removing a piece of adhesive tape that he had previously put in the thumb hole to make it feel comfortable.
For Pete, his 41st television appearance. And another 10. And It's getting to Pete. You can tell the way he shakes his head and the way he walks. That slow little move back to the return.
Now, as the ball enters the pins, it's not quite solid. And look, it's a little bit light in the pocket. And with brand new pins, you do not carry that cheap strike, as we call it on the tour. You must hit solid.
All right, 3 spares. We asked Weber earlier why his big hook ball is done so well under these conditions.
Well, it goes back to my background of growing up on the lacquer shot. I learned how to hook the ball on the lacquer, but then again, I also learned how to go straight up, and that's what I've been doing pretty much this week.
Okay, Pete Weber.
And what he, excuse me, Chris, what he meant by lacquer is all the lane surfaces up until 1970 had a lacquer finish, but his father maintained that lacquer on his bowling center until the 80s.
And Pete, with a high hit, has left the 4-10, and total disbelief and confusion on his part at the moment. His dad was here earlier in the week.
Needs to get the ball over next to the 4 pin, slide it over into the 10, Chris. He's grabbed a low-friction ball. He's going for it.
Robbed. Great shot, but didn't make it. We'll be back.
Okay, listen up. Oakley here's filling in for Bob tonight.
For 3 years, Bill Oakley took orders. But tonight, he's got to stand up and take charge.
You make America work.
Here's to you, the clean, crisp taste of Beechwood-aged Budweiser. For all the guys who know it's not what you say, but what you do.
Today, we're going to find out why America rides Monroe shocks and struts. Sir, why do you ride Monroe?
It's the better handling.
Oh, huh? It's the smoother ride.
Better handling.
Smoother ride.
Better handling.
Smoother ride.
Well, whatever your reason, see your Monroe ride expert for the best ride ever. Guaranteed. No wonder America rides Monroe shocks and struts.
The Porsche engine in the Quaker State Indy car performs at a punishing 11,000 RPM. And the clean-running Quaker State with QSXer Protector is the same oil you buy right off the shelf. The big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will.
Cocktail, Wheaties. You, Chunky, get over here.
Nothing takes care of a mean appetite like Campbell's Chunky.
That better not be the last of the Chunky.
Campbell's Chunky, it takes care of the meanest appetites.
The annual PBA National Championship is underway. Early stages of the first match between Pete Weber and Dave Ferraro, who can take a 24-pin lead if he can strike in the right lane, strike up in the 3rd. Ferraro's been one of the top bowlers, especially last year. He's just started back on the tour. We asked him what happened.
Well, back in Windsor and last stop of the summer tour, I was bowling in match play and I hurt my wrist. And I tried to bowl with it, but it was kind of hindering my game. And I thought I would go home and take a few weeks off and get it checked out. And I went through some physical therapy. And I would say it's about 80 or 85% right now.
Remember, he 56 games coming into this one. And he said it felt darn good while he's doing it. Well, an 8-pin on the left line, Bo. We're seeing a little of everything.
You're right, Chris. It's a shot that the players are just really overpowering the pins. Now watch the action of the ball as it goes through the 1, 3, and actually the 2-pin will knock out the 5 and it'll chop it off the 8. Here you go. The ball hits the 1, 3, and chops it straight off the 8.
Dave Ferraro, who almost became a harness horse driver, but was allergic to the hay that feed the horses. He's loose now, isn't he?
That's for sure. Sometimes for Pete Weber, an open and getting a little bit behind can be helpful. You get too much pressure on yourself in a close match, you never loosen up. Peter, a strike bowler, needs to get that strike ball. Just loosen up, don't aim it, just crank it up.
Hands up in the air. What do I have to do next? cover the 10.
Now watch the action as the ball enters the pins. It will not knock the 6-pin into the 10-pin. It'll just drop off into the channel. Now these are, as I said, once again, a much more difficult to knock down than ordinary bowling pins that have been used for weeks and weeks. And it's showing up in Weber's game.
Pete has had a 10-pin at least in every frame. That is hard to believe, including an open in the 4th. There you see Pete trailing by 23, and his fans are really trying to get that adrenaline going. 10 titles.
56 games. The first 4 rounds are qualifying. 32 games, then 24 of the finals. Weber qualifying 5th. He's in trouble. It trails by 23, 6 frame.
I hit leaving the 4. A man that led after 24, then dropped to 13th, made a strong comeback to get to the number 5 spot here.
He's quickly up with a spear ball going across for the 4-pin. As you see, the first hit, not knocking all the pins down. Pete converts the 4-pin, and as Dave Ferraro comes up in the 6th frame, he'll have a 24-pin lead over Weber.
There you see Ferraro's climb to the number 4 position in that spot for the last 3 sessions. Match play. And the 7-pin on the right lane now for Ferraro as we get a look at Gloria, his wife.
Gloria looks on, expecting to see a strike on that light hit by David. He hit light in the pocket, ripped the 5 out, expected to carry the 7. But a cross lane should be an easy spare to maintain his lead.
Consistent Dave Ferraro here in our first match. If you just joined us, this is the PBA National Championship. The winner to meet Don Genalo, then Todd Thompson of Reno, and then our tournament leader waiting, Brian Voss.
Ferraro around the pocket every ball. Left the 4-pin the first frame, the 10-pin the second, then 2 consecutive strikes, the solid 8 in the 5th, a swish in 7 and 6. He's not defeating himself. He's keeping the ball in play.
And a 10-pin for Dave, whose 2 victories came in Ohio. A win in Columbus in 1986, a win last year in Cleveland.
Lower surface friction ball. Cut down the hook. All you need is accuracy to make a single pin spare. Touch it and it will fall over.
Okay, we've gone beyond the halfway point of our first match, seeing those machines in the back. We'll return.
There's a level of performance that separates the good from the great. That's why Carmen Salvino designed the Ebonite Thunderbolt. The exclusive power core increases gyroscopic action for a sharper hook on heavy oil. And the Thunderbolt rolls farther before hooking, so it hits harder for less deflection and more striking power. The difference between good and great is the power of the Thunderbolt.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes taste like what morning should taste like.
There's something about the taste.
It's fresh, it's clean, it's a good way to start your day.
The satisfaction.
It hits the spot. I have a spot that only Kellogg's Corn Flakes will cover.
The simplicity.
You pour the Kellogg's Corn Flakes, put some milk on it, some fresh fruit, you got a perfect breakfast.
That make Kellogg's Corn Flakes part of a breakfast people feel special about.
Oh, what a way to start the day.
Corn Flakes from Kellogg's. What more could you want from a cereal?
We've just given the taste of Alka-Seltzer a refreshing twist. Lemon lime. So next time you have heartburn with a headache, send flavored Alka-Seltzer to the rescue. A better tasting way to help you feel better, fast.
We're live in Toledo and live from Paris immediately following. Jose Luis Ramirez inviting Pernell Whitaker. 15 fights, 15 wins, both for the championship.
You're right. In the world weightlifting, Chris, some great records set there. But going back to the boxing, which is one of my loves in a wide world of sports, as you see a lot of basketball tomorrow, ABC doubleheader.
In fact, we have a triple header. We have those final games from 3 of the powerful conferences, SEC, the Pac-10, and the Big 8, all live on ABC tomorrow.
Here's Weber trailing by 22. Must get going. First strike.
begin to shout Pete here. But it's getting late. That strike came in the 7th frame.
One of the benefits of a slight break in the action to the players, similar to in basketball, they have the quick timeout by the coach. The ABC television network gave Pete Weber a timeout, and he seems to be coming back. He gets his first strike. He can still make this a real close match, but he needs to throw a double against Ferraro here to cut the lead down to 12 pins, 8th frame.
Father like son. They have been known to come back with a vengeance, but they have a consistent Dave Ferraro in Pete's path here today. Spare up shooting in the 8th. 12 pins. Big shot in the 8th frame for Ferraro.
Dave Ferraro leans back for a little bit extra. Through 8 frames, he's had all the balls in the pocket, has kept Weber at bay, but the match is still up for grabs. And who can forget how well Dave Ferraro has performed in the clutch over the years. There's our leading money winners, the top 5 through 8 weeks of the Professional Bowlers Tour. And the position of our top 5 players today. Weber is the higher of all the 5 players. Don Genalo, who will be in the next match, 126th. Now, going back to Ferraro, a tough clutch player. I don't believe that he will beat himself. He'll keep the pressure on Weber. 9th frame.
A 10 pin. Remember how close he came to missing a 10 earlier in this first match of the PBA National Championship.
You see the backswings of both of these players. Ferraro short on the right, Weber with the high backswing on the left. Meanwhile, Ferraro is quickly up on the approach to convert to 10.
Made sure that time.
Right, and there's their strike ball. Ferraro on the right, the short swing. Weber with the long backswing on the right, on the left. Ferraro converts the 10th pin in the 9th frame, all balls in the pocket, but he has left the door wide open for Weber with an additional strike, making 3 in a row here in the 9th. He can cut Ferraro's lead to just 2.
Right lane. No dice. Leaving the 2 and the sleeper 8.
Tough spare in a tough situation. Weber really could have put some pressure on Ferraro. Now the pressure's on himself. Needs to make this to stay in the match.
Winner to meet, Don Genalo, a native of Mineola, Long Island, who moved to Perrysburg and is a suburb of Toledo, is a big favorite here. He will meet the winner of this first game. The loser will have to leave with $8,000.
Weber needs a strike to stay in the match right here. Boom. To set it up, Pete Weber has a potential 202 game. Ferraro going at a 206 pace. So if Weber can strike here, he still has a real good chance of winning the match or even a tie.
Doubling late in the match, 4 pins, concentrating more than he did earlier.
The determination of Weber. Look at those eyes. He says, come on, Pins, I'm getting mad now. You got to go down. Enough of this. He's still in the match.
Leaving a 10 pin, shooting a 201. And a championship pair that had a composite average of the field of 233.
This will be the lowest scoring match of the day, Chris. Mark my words. There's some good scores out there. Dave Ferraro needs to get 16 pins. He needs a mark to win the match and go on to meet Don Genalo. That's a winner.
First championship round appearance of 1988. He was on 4 times last year. 2 titles.
Needs 6 pins on 2 balls, piece of cake. He'll be going on to meet Janello, and that will be a tough, tough match.
So Ferraro, the winner, will be in the 2 teams. We'll have his final score when we come back, as Ferraro will meet Don Genalo. The Professional Bowlers Tour is brought to you by Budweiser, proud sponsor of the 1988 United States Olympic team. This Bud's for you. By Kellogg's Corn Flakes. What more could you want from a cereal? And by Ebonite International, where advanced technology has striking results. We'll be back after this message and a word from our local stations.
I've tried it. Now I believe it. Denorex Tingles tells me it's doing more. Head and Shoulders, no tingle.
Both have dandruff medicine, but Denorex adds both an extra anti-itch medicine and conditioner, too.
Goodbye, Head and Shoulders. Hello, Denorex.
Is the place. This Sharp solar calculator is only $2.97, and for just $3.33, get either this adjustable wrench or pliers. The right stuff at the right price right here. Hey, let me tell you, Ace is a place for me.
Dad, is there any way you could send the money today?
To send money fast, come to Western Union. It'll get to any of our 9,000 locations usually in 15 minutes or less.
Keep in touch.
Western Union, the fastest way to send money.
This man is twice as strong as this man. Tom's EX is twice as strong as Rolaids. So when you have heartburn, get the extra strength and acid. Tom's EX, twice as strong as Rolaids.
There are people in your town that are in need, and you can help by volunteering. A message from the Disabled American Veterans, where volunteering is a way of life.
If I were president of Speedy Muffler King, I'd fire the first mechanic who gave me that look when I asked a simple question. You know that look? My, aren't we stupid today?
No question is stupid at Speedy, and if you're not happy with our answers or our work, you'll get your money back plus 10% more. That's the new Speedy 110% satisfaction guarantee.
It just took the right man in charge. Thank you.
At Speedy, you're a somebody, 110% guaranteed.
I never thought that eating lice was gonna get me through the night.
It's new Crisco corn oil. You're gonna love eating light.
Baby, you're the one who put the healthy in my healthy appetite. I must have been in the dark if this is eating light.
A new corn oil, light enough to be Crisco. So let the taste of your light cooking come through.
Baby, you're the one who put the healthy in my healthy appetite.
New Crisco corn oil for today's healthy appetites.
TV 27 Harrisburg with translators at the following locations.
With 6 strikes, Ferraro defeats Pete Weber, 216 to 201, and now we'll go against Don Genalo. We keep getting questions, and Bo answers them as we join Ask Bo.
Today's Ask Bo question goes like this. Dear Bo, is there a Bowling Hall of Fame? The answer is yes. The National Bowling Hall of Fame and Museum is located in St. Louis, Missouri, and contains memorabilia about all facets of our sport. For more information, write Gerald Baltz at the National Bowling Hall of Fame, 111 Stadium Plaza, St. Louis, Missouri, 63102. And for your Ask Bo questions, write me at Ask Bo, Post Office Box 217, Ansonia Station, New York, New York, 10023.
And now, here in the 8th Trustcorp PBA National Championship, Imperial Lanes, Toledo, Ohio, we go to game number 2. Stepping in from the number 3 position, an adopted son of this area. First television for this year. Last win was in the summer of 1985. 6 titles, Don Genalo. And a 10-pin satisfied.
Don Genalo, who was a great college champion who came onto the Pro Bowlers Tour and has proven himself under fire. Some of the great moments we've had on the PBA Tour Janello defeating opponents in the 10th frame. Who can forget his wins at the King Louis and also up in Milwaukee? So Janello against another tough opponent, Ferraro, second match.
All right, first frame for Janello, marking with a spare. And now 28-year-old Dave Ferraro. He's 5'8", 160 pounds, 6 strikes in the first match, shooting a .216. The winner of this game will meet a non-winner named Todd Thompson. There's a first, opening with a strike in our second match. And next week we will go to Overland Park, Kansas for the $140,000 King Louis Open.
The man who has won that tournament twice, Don Genalo, in this match against Ferraro. Genalo won in '83 and in 1985.
And Jimmy Pritz will be there to defend it.
Ferraro looking for a double. Hit the pocket every ball so far today.
No, this does not make that spare. but here's a tough one.
Not much he can do with this, Chris. He just has to throw the ball down there, either to the 6-10 side is the best side. Just try to bounce one of the pins out and take out the 4-7. Does the best thing, doesn't give away the count. For every pin you miss when you have a strike up, it costs you 2 in the box score. And now Janello with just a free opening right here at the start. Chris, he has the best natural shot for the championship here. And what I mean by that, Don Genalo never plays a hook ball. He rolls a straight shot, so no matter what he does, it's difficult for him to make a mistake and hook the ball high.
And it's a 10 pin for Don Genalo on the right lane.
Janello looking at that hand, he has a tremendous span and fingertip grip and just an ideal style. Straight arm swing, 5-step delivery, locked elbow, and sets himself at that foul line with a good follow-through.
And follows through on his spare shooting as well. Beautifully done by Don Genalo, marking with 2 spares and leads by 13.
Janello with that tremendous span, over 5.5 inches, as you see him wipe the conditioner off the bowling ball. We can put those fingers in the holes and stretch that hand all the way around the ball. Good for control, but you can't turn it over as much when you have a long span like that. A shorter span gives you a little more hook.
Picture perfect. And listen to the hometown fans give it to their hero, Don Genalo.
And here's the view I love. Jim Jeanette, our director, bringing that. The shot of Don Genalo right down the second arrow. That's the shot here at Imperial Lanes. Now, Ferraro up third frame.
Okay, getting his second strike in 3, but had a disastrous open in the second. But he can change it. He can cut the lead to 3 pins with a strike on the left lane.
Notice how there's been such a premium on the really good hit. When a player is hit solid in the pocket, he's struck almost every time. When he's been slightly off, he hasn't paid a penalty, but he doesn't receive many free strikes. Now Ferraro to make the match closer. Oh.
And a 10.
That solid 10 for Ferraro keeps him from cutting the lead of Don Genalo down to 3 pins. 10-pin conversion would leave him trailing by 13.
All right. Still a very close match here in our second of the PBA National Championship.
Hi, just got in. Yeah, love you too. Bye. You know, when you're living out of a suitcase, quality inns, hotels, and suites are perfect. Beautiful rooms, color TV, movies. Hi, 4 for dinner? Thank you. Restaurants, swimming pool. You really get a lot for your money. And whether it's Boston or Houston, quality's this close. Just call 1-800-221-2222. I guess I better unpack.
Make the quality choice. Call 800-221-2222 for quality, comfort, or Clarion reservations.
Mercury. The cars that change the direction of the wind, directing the flow of the rushing air to help keep them firmly in contact with the road. Mercury. The cars that change the direction of the wind are
are changing the direction of automotive design. Mercury, the shape you want to be in.
Pernell Whitaker goes for his first world title against WBC lightweight champ Jose Luis Ramirez. Live on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Next.
That's right, next, Ramirez and Whitaker, and they'd like to have the average like Mark Roth's, 220. Ooh.
He's going at almost a record pace as you see the averages of the 5 players today, just 4 remaining as we've already eliminated 1 player, Pete Weber, who was in the top 5. Now Janello leads by 13, has had all 3 frames around the pocket, can extend his lead to 23 over Ferraro.
Nicely done for his double. Earlier we asked Don why he had had such a bad year in 1987. Here's his answer.
Well, the problem with the bad year was that I was trying to improve my game by trying to put more revolutions on the ball, which is not my game. My game is to go very straight. So what I worked on the past few weeks is just trying to go as straight as possible and be accurate and have good ball control speed-wise.
Like that. 3 times, 3 in a row, and we look at Mary, a native of Perrysburg, Ohio. Have a 5-week-old daughter named Ann.
Now Ferraro up 5th frame, trails by 33. Must get a rally going. String some strikes.
Third strike in 5 frames, but it was that open and the stringing of 3 by Janello.
The shot of Ferraro out around the 2nd arrow. 60 feet from foul line to contact with the head pin, drives all 10 pins in the pit. He's getting in a must situation. Janello, his opponent's not the type of player that has a lot of open frames and allow you to catch up sitting on the bench. You must attack now, David.
He's done it. It's going to be really a tough, an exciting second match here in Toledo. Double for Ferraro, a 3-bagger for Janello, who's up shooting in the 6th frame.
Look at the grip of Don Genalo, what we call the stretched fingertip grip. 27-inch circumference of a bowling ball. He takes up about 20% of that with almost a 5.5-inch span around that urethane ball. Now to retake a 33-pin lead.
And loyalty to the state of Ohio with the scarlet and gray outfit of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Boy, he knows how to play it all.
He's bowling the lanes absolutely perfect. By that I mean he's playing a down and in straight shot on 26, letting the ball hook up on 25. As you see his progress through the tournament, always had been close, made a charge in the last 24 games, 9th, 5th, and finally into 3rd place. Watch Janello as he just weaves between the track area around the 2nd arrow, keeping every ball in play. This is the way to hit this championship pair.
And then he's left with the bucket on the left lane, 2, 4, 5, 8th, 7th frame.
Little extra speed for Janello as his ball just slides by the head pin. Leaves the 2, 4, 5, and 8, as Chris said. Needs to get that ball between the 2 and 5 pins. Make sure he avoids the chop and takes out the 8. He will remain in 29 pins in the lead.
That's it on the opposite side. Don Genalo continues to lead here in Toledo.
My dandruff shampoo is good.
Maybe you should try something else. My dandruff shampoo really works.
Maybe you should try something else, like Selsun Blue. Doctors and pharmacists recommend Selsun Blue more than all other leading brands combined. What that means to you is no leading brand gets rid of dandruff better than Selsun Blue. It's #1.
And all Selsun Blue formulas, including extra conditioning and extra medicated, have the ingredient recommended most by doctors.
My wild Irish rose, as sweet as flowers grow, and someday for my sake she may let me take the bloom from my wild Irish rose.
On St. Pat's
Paddy's Day, celebrate with the only American beer that's also brewed and bottled in Ireland, Budweiser.
Bowling's royalty head to Kansas to claim the crown of the $140,000 King Louis Open on ABC's Professional Bowlers Tour next Saturday.
Here in Toledo, while we were away, because we're running behind our allotted time schedule, Ferraro bowled the 7th and 8th frames. Strike in the 7th, he left a 10-pin in the 8th. Covered it, still trailing by 20. Janello now strike up 8th frame. And now, with the 4-7-10, things could change.
Janello starting the ball up on the pocket on the right-hand lane. Goes right through the middle, leaving the 4, 7, and 10 pins. He needs to try to slide the 4 over into the 10 to maintain a 17-pin lead. If not, the match will be close.
All right. Both professionals with open frames. Ferraro in the 2nd. Now an open for Janello in the 8th. 6-pin lead. As he looks at the overhead score monitor. Tight.
Two of the best clutch bowlers on the Pro Tour going at it. 9th and 10th frames. $5,000 at stake for the winner of this match and a chance for $51,000.
Gary Janello liking it with the crowd here, striking the 9th frame. And Ferraro now will be shooting in the 9th, and Don with a head shake.
Ferraro, key 9th frame, chance to still win the match.
All right, and he has left the 6-10. A lot of spare shooting here today. And the Old Spice tip of the week will be coming up, has to do with spares.
Cuts right through the middle, and he leaves the 2 pins that we do see on the Old Spice tip of the week, the 6-10. We show you a little more dependable way of making it.
Eight pins now. Winner to meet, 22-year-old Todd Thompson of Reno, Nevada. Chance of a tie, Nelson?
Could be. It has to come down to Ferraro getting at least 2 strikes, 1 in the 10th and 1 in the 11th. He trails by 8. He can put some pressure on Janello and still win the match. It's up for grabs, 10th frame.
More speed and well done.
What a wonderful quality to be able to throw strikes in the clutch, and really this is the difference between the, say, the journeyman pro out here on the tour and the top professional. The ability to strike in the 10th frame. Now Ferraro, who has trailed throughout the match, has a chance to take the lead with this shot.
Remember, the winner advances. The loser gets $10,000.
Come on, boy.
Walking to the ball, and he got the result he wanted. Now 2 pins.
What a dandy shot. Ferraro, who had struggled a little bit in the match, really only made 1 errant shot in the 2nd frame, leans on it, catches it all, hits that 5-pin right in the face, now has a chance to take the lead for the first time. He has a potential 213. He would force Janello to throw at least 1 strike.
Coming from behind like those harness horses his dad races. 8 strikes for Ferraro, opening with 1, and then had an open frame in the 2nd, so it's 213. He's finished for this game. Now it's up to Janello.
Janello must strike on this ball or he cannot win. The match is over. Ferraro is the winner if Janello doesn't strike.
Winner of 6 titles, a couple of them the hard way. This is a hard-fought 2nd match in the PBA National Championship. Wow.
Remember, this is the man that threw a strike to what he thought locked up the LA Open in 1984. Then he came back with a 5-pin count Only needed 2 of those pins. He was discouraged, didn't figure the score, threw the ball in the channel, and gave the match away. I'm sure he's thinking about that now, as he just needs to keep the ball in play. And he is the winner right now.
All right, leaving the 6'10", Don Genalo now moves forward, and we'll meet Todd Thompson coming up.
It took 2,000 years, but a revolutionary discovery is changing the way men think about coloring their gray hair. It's called Just for Men, from the leader in men's hair coloring. Simply apply Just for Men, and in 5 minutes, shampoo out. Your gray is blended away, leaving your natural-looking color. 5 minutes. Here, look at me. Just for Men leaves your hair looking healthy and fuller, and it won't fade or wash out. Just for Men, in the men's hair care section.
Radio Shack has the ideal family computer, the Tandy 1000HX system, on sale for only $8.99. I saved $250, and it came complete with 6 IBM PC-compatible programs, plus Tandy's exclusive 7-in-1 DeskMate software. My wife uses it for budgeting. The kids love learning with Big Bird and Ernie. And it's America's easiest-to-use computer. What a great value.
The Tandy 1000HX computer system with software on sale only $8.99 at Radio Shack.
Just like a breath of fresh air early in the morning.
There's something about the taste of Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
I mean, usually I start sneaking some out of the box before I even get it into the bowl.
The tradition.
I've been eating them since I was a little girl. My son eats them.
The value.
You can buy all the imitations and not get Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
That make it part of a breakfast people feel special about.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes is tops.
Corn Flakes from Kellogg's. What more could you want from a cereal?
All right, we've had 2 matches, 2 different winners. Janello by 6 over Ferraro, 219 to 213. Thompson next. Time now for our Old Spice bowling tip of the week. Bo today will show you alternative methods to making difficult spares. Here he is. Today's Old Spice tip of the week is brought to you by Old Spice Fast Track Wide Deodorant. It blocks odor better.
Here's a bowling tip for you players that either roll the ball too slowly or roll the big hook ball. Historically, you have trouble with spares in the right-hand part of the lane, something like the 610. The problem is, if you give the ball enough room, the ball slides off in the channel. If you don't give it enough room, it either chops the spare or hooks by both pins. Here's a little trick that many of the top pros on the tour use. It's simply this. Instead of inserting all 3 fingers in the bowling ball, they take the middle finger out of the bowling ball. This reduces the leverage on the ball and cuts the hook down. Let's take a look at one of those shots.
Now let Bo help you score even more. You'll also fix problems, improve strategy, and practice smarter with Bo Burton's new bowling video.
This video is for you.
ABC Sports and Old Spice bring you Bo Burton's new instructional video, Score More. Just $24.98 plus $3 shipping. Call 1-800-4ABC-VCR. That's 1-800-4ABC-VCR.
It's more effective than the leading men's deodorant. It's been proven better in clinical tests at blocking odor. It's Old Spice Fast Track Wide Deodorant. It blocks odor better.
Bids to the NCAA tournament are on the line in a conference finals doubleheader. First, they'll put them up down south for the SEC Tournament Championship. Then, a shootout in the West follows for the Pac-10 Tournament crown. Or regional coverage of the Big 8's title game. All on ABC's college basketball doubleheader tomorrow.
Next week, we'll be showing you action from west of here, Overland Park, Kansas, the King Louis Open. That's next week, and then 2 weeks from today, to Peoria for the True Value Open. Neat stop. So is the Milwaukee Championship, worth $200,000. And then the following week, where will we be?
Well, we'll be at Fair Lanes in Baltimore, Chris, and you know that True Value is, we've already given away on $100,000 once this year at the Quaker State, where Bob Benoit rolled the perfect game, and at the True Value Open, it would be $200,000 bonus if one of the players would roll a perfect game. Now,
and if today we have one, it'll be 100,000.
Not bad. We have 2 games left. Here's a young man who appeared in the championship round at Venice, Florida, and was very sharp, although he didn't win the match against Marshall Holman. First shot.
Ooh, what a way to get started for this 22-year-old, youngest in the field, 5'10", 165 pounds. But Janello, clutch player who defeated Ferraro 219 to 213. For Ferraro, check for 10, the loser here 15, right to go on. Now, there is break number 1 in this match. 4 dropped at the last minute, leaving only the 6.
What a tremendous break. As watch the 4-pin as the 2-pin comes around and knocks it out, avoids the 4-6 split. Janello gets a terrific break.
Thompson opening with a strike, and Janello with a sparrow. Move to the left side now. He wants a re-rack, doesn't like what he sees. So Harry Golden, our tournament director, will grant that wish.
We talk about the pins that were used in the national championship. Pins have their optimum scoring when they usually have more than 1,000 games on them. They're good sometimes up to 7,000 or 8,000 games, Chris. And one thing we do have is a maximum weight on pins allowed, and that's 3 pounds 12 ounces, using 3 pound 8 ounces today.
Okay. Janello hasn't won since the summer of 1985. Very intense competitor. As you can see, brow furrowed a little bit deeper because he had a tough match against Ferraro. Strike up. So Todd Thompson will have to try to cover the 10-pin on the right lane.
Todd Thompson, just an excellent style. Little short 4-step delivery just by the textbook. Push away with the initial step, shoulder high, backswing, high follow through, and he's going to knock that 10-pin out very easily. Todd Thompson's the young man that in Venice, Florida, the cameras of ABC caught a apparent foul. The PBA then made a ruling because the foul lights weren't on to allow him to have that frame, which really made no difference in the match, have the strike. He rolled in that frame, and then from then on he was a little bit more cautious about his footwork. Just a sharp young player. As Todd Thompson drifts high, leaves the 3-6. Now it's been about 45 minutes since he's thrown a practice ball on the championship pair. We once again said the left-hand lane, 25, hooks quite a bit more, and he has to make the adjustment on the lane now. He's not in any trouble. He'll be just trailing Janello by 2 pins if he can convert the 3-6.
When leaving the 3-pin, and that is disastrous in the third frame.
Just bad technique. Todd Thompson went down between the first and second arrows to try to convert the 3-6 when we see most of the players take the traditional and I believe safer method, a cross lane, to go directly at the 3-6. He's paid the penalty and opened the door for Janello.
Nearly jumped on it, leaving the 10. Third frame for Janello in this semifinal game leading to the championship match.
One of the great things that Janello does in his game is the holding of his follow-through. He slides that ball. Now look at him, post it, head on the target, hands not moving, the pedals almost to the pin. What a disciplined shot. I think that's one of the reasons he's so great in the clutch.
He just joined us in our first match today. Pete Weber, number 5 seed, was defeated by Dave Ferraro 216 to 201. Then Don Genalo, whom you're looking now, came from the wings and defeated Ferraro 219 to 213. So with Thompson, his opponent now, the tournament leader remains. His name is Brian Voss, the cover boy, the poster boy. Lucky, high hit, 6-10 only, could have been worse.
The reason Janello has been struggling somewhat this year is he made an attempt in his game, as you saw, as he said in his audio tape, to become a power player. And that time he went back to his old habit that got him in trouble. Turned the ball too much, let it hook too much, avoids the split, makes the 6-10 spare.
Just marked with a spare. Semifinal match, more after this.
Here's why these New England fishermen take Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine.
I get aches and pains, runny nose, nasally, and Alka-Seltzer Plus works every time.
When I get a cold, my head feels like it's 3 feet thick. Alka-Seltzer Plus helps break through, helps me get back on my feet.
Alka-Seltzer Plus cold medicine. Fast, effective relief for tough winter colds.
In a word, it works.
Try new Alka-Seltzer Plus nighttime cold medicine to relieve your cold at night.
Old soldiers never die, but neglected batteries do. That's why I feel better with a Delco battery under the hood. Sealed tight, maintenance free. With plenty of startup power to handle cold mountain weekends.
Precision AC Delco parts. They don't just fit, they match.
We old soldiers spend our time on live trout, not dead batteries.
Manufacturer incentives can mean battery price reductions through your participating local retailer.
Pernell Whitaker goes for his first world title against WBC lightweight champ Jose Luis Ramirez. Live on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Next.
Tomorrow live, ABC's college basketball. From 3 sites, Bo, 3 finals. The SEC, the Pac-10, and the Big 8.
I will be home in St. Louis watching the action all day for me and for a lot of other people as you look at George Haig, the chairman of the board of Trustcorp, the underwriter of this fabulous tournament.
And they've announced that next year they'll be back right here. $280,000 total purse. All right.
Todd Thompson up in the fourth frame, trails by 11. Fourth frame, needs a strike.
All but the 4-pin. Sigh of relief on the part of the 22-year-old from Reno, Nevada.
Now let's take a look at what's been happening today. We saw the players around the pocket the first 2 games. Now all of a sudden in the semifinal game for the big bucks, everybody's struggling. The lanes are changing and the players are a little nervous. Now what do they have to do? Very simply, make some adjustments.
We indicated he's young, he's from Reno. We asked him earlier how he got his financial backing.
Yes, I'm very lucky. A lady by the name of Pam Buckner is my sponsor, and she's been my coach. She taught me how to bowl from when I averaged about 120 up till this point, and I have a very good friendship and a sponsorship, and you know, like I said, I'm just very fortunate. I wish more people had the same opportunity as I do.
Appreciative young man who left the 10 on the left lane.
A couple of things. Pam Buckner, who is the 1976 Women's Queen Champion, and that is the same thing as the Men's Masters Championship held by the Women's International Bowling Congress. Now, Todd Thompson, cross lane for the 10-pin.
And he's been on television twice. In both cases, his mother, Jan, has been here to cheer him on. Now, Janello, living in nearby Perrysburg, is up.
The players need to make some adjustments. What we say, the track or the worn area around the second arrow is breaking down or starting to hook too much. Janello has to either increase the speed or move to the left to make that adjustment. It looks good.
Self-congratulatory pat. There's a big strike, only a second in 5 frames of the semifinal as Brian Voss continues to practice. You can hear the pins fall.
A little verbal coaching. Coaxing too, solid in the pocket. Now the key lane is the left-hand lane. I've bowled on this championship here many times, and if you cannot hit this lane when it's hooking, you will die. So let's see if Janello has made the adjustment. Got a break.
All right. Well, a little moving of the decibel dial. Jack Brandis, our audio engineer, probably removed that headset.
5 frames left to determine who will go against Brian Voss for $51,000.
Nice break at the last moment for Todd Thompson. Strike in the 6th.
With the different styles of these two players, Todd Thompson throwing more of a hook ball, Don Genalo more of a straight shot, the type of adjustment that they need to make is a little bit different. Thompson must move to the left, give the ball room and let it break back to the pocket. Janello will stay about where he was, where he tripped that 4 out in the 6th frame, and throw the ball harder. See if they both make the proper adjustment. Thompson needs this strike to cut Janello's lead down to just 12 pins, 7th frame.
Pin for Todd Thompson.
The characteristic of the championship round beginning to show up. Simply this: Thompson gives the ball room. He thinks he makes the proper shot. The ball does not react to his liking, comes up light, leaves a 4-pin. He will trail by 22.
And it is getting late in this semifinal game. The winner to meet tournament leader Brian Voss.
Thanks again, boys, and keep the change. You hear all this nonsense about Kellogg's Frosted Flakes being just for kids. Well, I, for one, eat them, and I'm going to go right on eating them. Frosted Flakes just for kids? Come on. Like we adults have to go sneaking around. Like we can't love these crisp, sweet flakes just as much as kids. Who is it?
You just have to admit it. Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great. In Ricky Rudd's high-torque V8, clean-running Quaker State with QSX provides unbeatable protection from wear and tear.
And the oil that protects my car on the track is the same oil you buy right off the shelf.
The big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will.
What the hell?
Yeah. Get the brakes done?
Uh-huh.
You Midas-sized them?
I didn't think it mattered.
Didn't matter? Halfway up the Himalayas and it didn't matter?
Midas-size your brakes and get it right the first time.
Bowling's royalty head to Kansas to claim the crown of the $140,000 King Louis Open on ABC's Professional Bowlers Tour next Saturday.
You're looking at our tournament leader, Brian Voss, waiting the outcome of our semifinal game. Practice shot for Voss is Don Genalo. While we were away, bowled in the 7th, left a 2, marked with a spare. And here he left the 4, 6, 7. He has an open frame and coming at a very, very bad time, cutting his lead to 7 pins approximately.
Well, right now, Chris, as we watch Todd Thompson, he goes over and looks at the scoreboard. Everybody seems to be a little bit confused about what the correct score is, and I believe right now Thompson is in arrears by just 6 pins, and the match is following the same profile that we saw in the previous match. Once again, Thompson up in the 8th frame, needs 2 strikes to take the lead.
Spare working. Compact on the approach. Clutch hit. So he'll be coming up on the left lane, 9th frame.
All right, for Thompson, who has trailed throughout the match, has a chance to take the lead. Watch Todd Thompson, the adjustment he made. We saw him in Venice side, precariously close to the foul line. He says, I'm going to back up a couple inches, not even take a chance. There's definitely a pro adjustment there when you can move back 3 or 4 inches. Feels a little bit unnatural. But now, the biggest shot of his career. He needs this strike to take the lead. A chance to win the national championship if he could win this match.
Non-winner, 22 years old, coming up with a clutch double here in the semifinal game. Watch this reaction.
Boy, what a great shot. This guy looks super. Down low, snaps his wrist behind him, takes the lead by 3 pins. Now he puts Janello in a position that he's familiar with, under the gun, as he slowly resets himself. Janello, for some reason, feeling a little bit of interference. A cameraman or someone, not one of ours, moved behind a screen down there.
That's always a nice disclaimer. It's true, though. It was a still photographer. I have a screen down there with openings, so it doesn't show body movement. One got just a little overeager.
Janello going at a 193 pace. Thompson 196. Match is still up for grabs.
2 and the sleeper 8.
Don Genalo's personality doesn't really dictate, Chris, him being upset by a small thing like this. As you see the ball sliding by the head pin, leaving the difficult double with 2-8 spare. He needs to convert this by 3 pins, still give himself the chance to win the match.
Sleeper.
Trouble.
Oh. All right. Putting up that safe sign, I guess. Spare in the 9th frame. Now, Janello has the pressure on.
Looks at the scoreboard, which is off the side. Automatic scores used here at Ducat's Imperial Lanes. Our scoreboard there on your screen tells the story. Janello trails by just 3 pins. He needs to throw another clutch double to have a chance to win this match against Thompson. 10th frame.
Left the 4.
Gave it a good go, but the left-hand lane's been jumping high up towards that split zone. Janello with a good shot. Doesn't get the strike. He has a potential 192. He'll force Thompson to mark and get a good count in the 10th.
Some consolation to the loser here in the semifinal match, $15,000, but the winner can go in against Brian Voss, where they'll be shooting for a total of $77,000. Will it be this man, or will it be the 6-time winner, Don Genalo? Or 7.
190 for Janello. And what he forces Todd Thompson to do is mark in the 10th and get a count of 15. In other words, he can't afford a real bad ball either in his first shot or his second shot, but he must spare. If he does, he goes on to meet Brian Voss for the national championship.
Defending champion Randy Peterson finished 90th this year. Shot, he became a young man, I'll guarantee you. His mom, Jan, delighted.
Todd Thompson is taking this game from being a very close match in the 7th frame to a rout as he's finishing here with strongly with strikes in the 8th, 9th, and 10th frames. He has the match well in hand, keep the ball on the lane, and probably the man who has the most to gain by winning the national championship is this young man who is not eligible for the Firestone, and also there's a 3-year exemption that goes along with the winning here.
Todd Thompson, a 22-year-old non-winner, now is 1 step closer to $51,000. He'll go against Brian Voss.
Run a light here?
Ask for Bud Light. The light beer with the first name and taste.
Let me know when you're ready for another round.
Because everything else is just the light.
When I'm fighting dandruff, I want all the help I can get. So now I'm using new extra strength Denerex with 39% more dandruff medicine. For my dandruff and itch, there's 39% more medicine in new extra strength Denerex. For great looking hair, I can't get too much of a good thing.
New Hostess pudding gives you sweet sensation. Moist yellow cake.
Chocolatey icing on top.
Pudding in the middle. Hostess, please don't stop. New Hostess pudding gives you sweet sensation.
Sunday.
Who are you?
Clint Eastwood is the Pale Rider. Sunday.
Bowlers everywhere know the place to go for bowling equipment is Bowler's Supply. But did you know that Bowler's Supply has quite a selection of billiard tables and supplies, or that they can make any billiard table or top in the color and style of your choice? If not, stop in and see for yourself. And Bowlers, be sure to ask about today's most popular balls on the tour, including Brunswick Rhino, Columbia UDOT, AMF Angles, and the new urethane hammers. All can be expertly fitted and drilled to your size. So for selection and service, visit Bowler's Supply, 401 Carlisle Avenue, York.
Simplicity would like to take you for a quick spin. The maneuverable new Sunrunner, the first front-cut rear-steer riding mower priced for the homeowner. Now at your Simplicity dealer.
Watch Janelle Stelson with weather on 27 News at 6.
Three matches and three different winners. The non-winner, Todd Thompson of Reno, has eliminated Don Genalo 213 to 190. Thompson with 6 strikes. Now he goes in against Brian Voss, who has 4 titles in his 6 years as a pro, including 2 victories last year.
A big field, Chris, 360 players. They all average 201, surprisingly fair conditions. Not surprisingly, just equal averages. Here's some of the other top 24 finishers. Mike Taylor gave it a go. Webb was up there. Steady Macaron. Look for some of your other favorites. Gil Sliker coming out of a slump. Kent Wagner, whose wife Lisa's on the Women's Pro Tour. Art Trask. Roger Bramwell. Westlake, we've seen him. Dale Strike, his dad Bill's a good friend of mine. Leroy Bornhoff from the St. Louis area. Steve Jaros. Cranker Bill Ryan. Mats Carlson from Sweden. Butch Soper. All right, Butch from Windsor, Ontario. Transfer from California. Ron Palumbi and George Graham III round out the top 24.
And we're in Toledo for the 8th Trustcorp PBA National Championship. Trustcorp growing into a vast financial institution based right here in Toledo, Ohio. Here we go. Now they bowl for $77,000. Brian Voss, the tournament leader, and the non-winner, 22-year-old Todd Thompson.
Voss, the higher finisher in this tournament, as he just really whitewashed the other 359 competitors here, out averaging the field by more than 5 pins a game. That's almost unheard of in today's professional bowling. Decided that he would like to finish the match, throw the last ball for the money if need be. First frame.
It's a good mixing break on the left lane. Brian Voss, who was on television 4 times last year, won 2 events. From the top seed, he was 0 for 6 until he won in Riverside, California. Now, the man that eliminated Don Genalo, 213 to 190, Todd Thompson.
For the man who loves to camp out in the woods in the mountains of the Lake Tahoe area, the man from Reno who moved to California to get experience in his bowling. As you see, he opens a championship match with a solid 10. Big match for both players, but more importantly for Todd Thompson.
Todd's an interesting guy. Superstitions, doesn't like to wear maroon or purple, and his goals to be a bona fide player and earn a good living. Well, he can do the step to a bona fide player by winning here today, and good living, that too would come, wouldn't it?
I think so, Chris. Really adding it up for a player who has never won before, with the exemption, the prize money, the endorsements, and all the bonuses, this could mean at least $100,000 for this young man, a victory.
Sliding by the pocket, and here we look at the 1, 2, 4, 10.
And for Todd Thompson, this is a shot you must make if you're going to win national championships. Has to get the ball to the left side of the head pin, drive the head pin over into the 10 pin, and hopefully convert the very difficult washout spare. Looks good.
His mother, Jan, what an exhilaration she must be feeling now for her 22-year-old son coming through like a champion on that awesome. Ooh.
Brian Voss, who did most of his bowling in Anchorage, Alaska, as he is the son of a career Army man. His father owned a bowling center up there in Anchorage. That's where he did most of his practicing. Boom!
And the tournament leader has opened with a double. What a match, finally.
Just the profile of Brian Voss, out of a textbook, shoulder high. Look at that muscular body, deep knee bend, the pro move at the bottom, the wrist snap, and he's going to hurt that 5-pin. It's light in the pocket, the 1-3, the ball hits the 5. Voss loves it. Off to a quick start, 14-pin lead.
Well, here you see the leaders by round, and you see the name Brian Voss often, and Kent Wagner and Pete Weber.
32 games of qualifying over a 4-day period. The final match play, 24 games over a 2-day period. Nobody has been close to Voss. And right now, he has a chance to open a 24-pin lead through 3 frames.
Now he has a 3-bagger. So we'll get the response now from the non-winner. Won the previous match, of course, here. We're talking about titles in Todd Thompson, who has 2 spares. Third frame. Lost it at the line, leaving the 3.
Thompson, who just, as Chris, you just said, lost the ball at the line. He just lets the ball drift up high. Watch these 2 pins, the 3-pin, but the key pin is the 10-pin. Watch a pin come across, knock out the 10-pin, and avoid the baby split here in the 3rd frame. Great break conversion here. He'd only trailed by 25.
Okay, Todd talking to himself as he comes back.
Watch his reaction as he releases the ball. He's keeping his eyes on that second arrow. He sees the ball drift 2 or 3 boards inside the second arrow. He looks down at his hand. The ball slid off from perspiration and pressure. Let's see if he can recollect his thoughts and his game, get some strikes going. 4th frame.
Pressure is really on this youngster in particular. We'll be back.
Personal service and low everyday prices, check the lineup at your neighborhood True Value hardware store. Where the March True Value of the month is the Master Mechanic Hang Fast Wall Mount Tool. Now you can hang pictures and other objects without putting holes in your wall. And the mounting disc comes off easily if you change your mind. In March, get the Master Mechanic Hang Fast Wall Mount Tool for just $7.49 where you see the banner at participating True Value hardware stores.
Now, Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Medicine introduces a new nighttime formula.
It helped clear my sinuses where the pressure builds up so I could breathe and sleep better.
New Alka-Seltzer Plus Nighttime Cold Medicine. Nothing puts your cold to sleep faster.
Scott once had a heart attack. Today, he had a son. Studies show aspirin helps reduce the risk of heart attacks. Ask your doctor about a regimen of exercise, the right foods, and Bayer, the wonder drug that works wonders.
Going for their first major championship, both Brian Voss, a 4-time titleist, and the non-winner, Todd Thompson from Reno, Nevada. Here's Voss, Tacoma, Washington. Has 3 in a row, shooting in the 4th frame, 25-pin lead. Left at 2.
Little extra loft in the ball for Brian Voss in the 3rd frame. He got away with it on the left-hand lane. That time there, he sends the ball out about 6 feet over the foul line. It skids too far down the lane. On lane 26, the slicker or tighter of the 2 lanes gets a good break, a simple spare to remain 24 pins in the lead after 4 frames.
All right, smoothly done. Brian is 29 years old, 5'10", 160. When Professional Bowlers Tour wasn't on during the Olympic Winter Games, he went off on a cruise. And it's helped him because in our taping of Make That Spare, he was the big money winner. And here he is, the tournament leader in this national championship.
And making a lot of bucks in 8 short days. Now, 5th frame.
Yes, he left the 10. Bo, you mentioned the field of 360. Many, many amateurs in the Pro-Am as we look at the hit.
2,400 amateurs, Chris, as you see the light hit of Brian Voss. He drives the 5-pin over and just knocks out the 7, avoids the 7-10 split. Boom. Good break there. Easy spare.
Brian Voss making it look easy. Now, Todd Thompson, who defeated Don Genalo in the semifinal match, is up. He has a strike up, shooting in the 5th. Needs it right here. Todd Thompson has cut the lead to 13 pins. Pernell Whitaker will try to cut down the champion Jose Luis Ramirez in Paris live immediately following on Wide World. What a bout that will be. What an opportunity.
Chris, well, you're right. Whitaker, as you said, just going for the title after just 15 bouts. But I think Ramirez, with his experience in over 100 fights, 82 knockouts, is going to give Whitaker all he can take. I say Ramirez will defeat Whitaker and retain his championship. Now, Thompson, if he can win this championship, would have a 3-year exemption to the Pro Tour. He needs a strike here to cut the lead to 3.
And with the U.S. Open yet to be contested later in Atlantic City, and then the Firestone Tournament of Champions, one of the two will have a shot at the ring, which is only worn by 2 men, Billy Hardwick and Johnny Petraglia, having won all 3.
Voss just contemplating his own game. Todd Thompson across the lane.
What a smooth release on his spare shooting.
Well, that's the reason they use that, what we say, lower surface friction ball. In case you make a mistake, the ball will not break, and you have a better chance of making, especially a cross-lane spare on the right corner. That particular shot, it worked out for the benefit of Thompson. As you look at Voss coming up in the 6th frame, has kept every ball in play. Leads by 14 pins.
Coming up, open with 3 strikes, another strike in the 6th. Earlier, we asked Brian what this week has meant to him.
Well, I came into this tournament with a lot of confidence. I bowled real well last week. This week, I was able to be real firm with the ball, throw the ball real hard, which I like to do. I basically all week played right up the 5th, 6th, 7th board, with the exception of earlier in the week when there was a lot of playing lanes. But I like to throw the ball hard, and it was just a real fun week.
Yes, ladies, he is a bachelor. Leaving the 7-pin on the left lane.
Boy, what a smart, aggressive game Voss is bowling. He is keeping every ball light in the pocket. He still has plenty of power on the ball, not letting the ball drift high. Trusting the ball, as we say. That good arm swing, good style, and he has really developed into one of the premier players on the tour, as evidenced by him leading the PBA point system last year as the #1 point leader in 87. He's off to another start like that in 88.
Okay, the winner of the Quaker State, Southern California Open, Greater Detroit, and at Houston, Voss.
After a long day of traveling, I'm ready for a Comfort Inn. Because at Comfort Inns and Suites, they give me a nice room, big bathroom over there, color TV, and a warm, comfortable bed. So, next time you're looking for a cozy room for a comfy price, just reach for the phone and, call.
Make the quality choice. Call 800-221-2222 for comfort, quality, or Clarion reservations.
Thanks again, boys, and keep the change. You hear all this nonsense about Kellogg's Frosted Flakes being just for kids. Well, I, for one, eat them, and I'm going to go right on eating them. Frosted Flakes just for kids? Come on. Like we adults have to go sneaking around, like we can't love these crisp, sweet flakes just as much as kids. Who is it?
You just have to admit it. Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
What do you think? She'll love it. Price is right.
I'll break 90 with these.
Where will you find a better price than that?
10 minutes for incredible savings on top quality name brand appliances.
Valerie. Valerie.
You know you look pretty good in pink.
Kmart, the saving place, and more.
Pernell Whitaker goes for his first world title against WBC lightweight champ Jose Luis Ramirez. Live on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Next.
While we were away, Todd Thompson, a 22-year-old non-winner, came up with a 4, 6, 7, 9, 10 on his first shot in the 8th frame. Wowee. Disastrous open in the 8th. He made a spare in the 7th. As we're running behind our time schedule, thus we continued bowling. Now Voss with a spare up shooting in the 8th, leading by 33.
Not to be denied. I feel a little bit sorry for Thompson. The match is not over, but Brian Voss can shut this out in just 9 frames. He needs to lean on one more shot. He is bowling a perfect match as an experienced player, a very strong man, and is a perfect match from the number 1 position. Those 6 losses, Chris, he had from number 1 position have taught him a lesson. Get aggressive, use that great upper body strength that he has, keep that ball in play, and right now, one hard snap will shut this match out right here. See you later.
Brian Voss. You know, we have production assistants on all of our telecasts, and Patrick McManus has been with us from the start this year as he was at the 70 and 90-meter hill in Calgary, and he'll be leaving us for other duties, but we want to thank him for all his help as Voss is happy.
Well, Brian Voss is going to have a luxury that not many pros have, and that's to be able to come up in the 10th frame of a national championship and take a victory lap.
But despite it all, Todd Thompson, the non-winner, the 22-year-old, comes back after that disastrous 8th frame to strike in the 9th.
One of the great performances in a major championship. Brian Voss. He won it over 56 games in 7 days, and then in the short run today, he once again proved that he's the best this year.
Harry Smith, PBA Point Award leader last year, Brian Voss, and you're going to be hearing a lot more of him. Very meticulous, the way he lives and the way he trains. He full-time and 100% all the way. Brian Voss has won his 5th title, but more important, his first major. There he is, 29 years old. He is the PBA National Champion of '88. The Professional Bowlers Tour is brought to you by Alka-Seltzer. For stomach upset with a headache, send the bubbles of Alka-Seltzer to the rescue. By Quaker State Motor Oil. The big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will. And by The Quality Choice, Comfort Inns, Quality Inns, Clarion Hotels. Voss has won it. We hope to give you the final scores. He's continuing as coming up next. ABC's Wide World of Sports presents the WBC World Lightweight Championship. Undefeated Pernell Whitaker goes for his first world title as he battles champ Jose Luis Ramirez. And then tomorrow, ABC's college basketball features a conference tournament final doubleheader. 3 of them. First, it's the SEC tournament final. Then you see regional coverage of the Pac-10 and the Big 8 Conference Championship final game. Final score will be in the 240s for Voss. He'll get the $51,000 for George Haig, the chairman of Trustcorp Corporation. Voss now up there at the line on the right lane, and he has shot a 246 for his first major championship. There is George Haig, chairman of Trustcorp, Mike Ducat, and Joe Antonora, who is the commissioner of the PBA. A great win for this 29-year-old champion.